Do you really know where and how you are spending your time? Hey, it's Maria Quattrone, and I want to ask this question. Do you really know how you're spending your time? So, there's something called a time study, and you track every 15 or 30 minutes on what you're actually doing. And you write down whatever time you start your day. You can do it before you start your day. You can do it when here's my day. I get up at 7 a.m. I work out from 7:15 to 7:45, 7:45 to 8:15. I shower and get ready. 8:15 to 8:30, I eat lunch, breakfast. And then from 8:30 to 8:45, I commute to work. From 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, I make my first hour calls. I take a 5-minute break. From 10:05 to 11:05, I make my second hours of calls, and then I take a break. From 11:05 to 12:10, make my second round of calls, and from 12:10, I get my lunch. I eat my lunch from 12:10 to 12:30, and then I get back on the phone, and I have follow-up calls from 12:30 to 1:30. I'm following up in database. And then got the idea. So you're tracking every either 15 minutes or half hour or 1 hour increments. And then when you track this, you will actually be able to figure out where you're actually spending your time. People say all the time, I don't have time. I don't have enough time. But I think you do. I think we all have enough time to figure it out. Today, I blocked out my time for following up, for making calls. I did 67 dials. I set 7 appointments. I think I talked to 26 people. And I time blocked all that. And I had 4 phone call listing appointments. I left the office by 5:45 to go to singing, because I sing on Tuesday nights. And so when you track your time, you can see where you're actually spending time, where it makes sense to spend the time, and when it doesn't make sense to spend the time. Because sometimes you realize we're spending time doing things doing nonsense, or just like messing off and chitter chattering at the water cooler. And you have to get really clear about where your time is spent before you can decide how much time you need to do something. Because people will say, oh, well, I don't have time. I hear this constantly. I don't have enough time to do the things I want to do. And I said, number one, do you time block? Number two, have you ever done a time study on the time you spent on the things that you're telling me about? And most don't ever do that. So I was doing a time study today on myself. And I recognized, I literally had to say, people were calling and say, family members, whatever. I said, I'm in my prospecting time. I cannot take the call. Is it an emergency? No, it's not an emergency. I will call you back tonight. You have to stay on your game. You have to be super focused and super disciplined in today's environment, actually in any environment. But the last 5 years or so have been a lot easier in real estate than they are today, and that it will continue to be quite this way for some time. So you have to get used to a new cadence. And so we're using a daily tracker to track our contacts, to track our appointments, to track our conversations, so that we know where we are so we can move the business forward. I don't know how else to do it. If somebody can come up with some better way than this, I would love to hear it. I would so love to hear it. But I know that the basics work. So I'm going to continue doing the basics and figuring out, do you really know where you spend your time? And if you don't, do a time study. You do a time study and you really figure out what you do with your time. And most people waste a lot of time, unfortunately. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm saying that to be real. Most people waste a lot of time every single day. I refuse to do that. So if you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer them. Let me know. But figure out where you're spending your time by doing a time tracking. Okay. See ya. Have a great one.